Bitcoin keeps dropping here to the downside, and everybody's wondering, is now the bull run finally over? Was that now the signal that everybody was expecting and waiting for to put the final coffin in for this Bitcoin cycle? I will show you what I believe is going to happen here in the next coming days, and if this is actually the end, and if that means that it's over or not. And something else really important here, who actually is selling. I just found this out a couple seconds before I started the stream. I'm gonna show you also who is actually causing that we are dropping here that much to the downside. That and more in this stream here. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in here. I need to find here the right position so that I can sit here in the camera, actually. Okay, so let's directly jump into it, because there's, again, not a lot of time for me here right now. So the DXY kept moving here a little bit further to the downside yesterday, but got then today a small bounce here, exactly from that level that we want to see to be broken at 99, at 99 here. Once that level will break, Bitcoin will start rallying back to the upside. So once we are getting here below, Bitcoin will then start to ramp up and go back to the upside. Now, who is selling? I want to tell you first who is causing that Bitcoin keeps going lower and lower and lower, and I will also show you then really shortly afterwards what are the next levels where we can potentially expect a bounce that will save this bull run. The people that are selling here are long-term holders, and for some weird reason they thought it's a brilliant idea to sell on spot, which made no sense to me. Why people with a shit ton of Bitcoin would go out and start selling on a normal exchange on spot huge amounts that they are holding. Because on OTC desks, the other side of the trade is desperate to buy Bitcoin, and they are offering way better conditions than you would get on the spot market for Bitcoin. So I really don't get this. So imagine this. You have, I give you a really stupid example. You have 100,000 Bitcoin or 10,000 Bitcoin. Let it be 10,000 Bitcoin. You have 10,000 Bitcoin. Whoa. Crazy thunderstorm here. So you have 10,000 Bitcoin, you want to go and sell them. You have no idea how to get on an OTC desk because you bought them like 9 years ago. So you want to sell them on Binance or wherever you are, on Kraken. So you clip them in one go. What do you think is going to happen to the price if you do that? If you sell immediately 10,000 Bitcoin in one shot? The price is going to tank. The price is going to tank 3, 4, 5% if you do that. Now, when you go and do this on an OTC desk, and I just want to do this here on, let me actually do this here on this example here. So if you do this on an OTC desk, you go and say, okay, I have 10K Bitcoin. I want to sell them. First of all, everything what you sell on the OTC desk will not impact the spot price, because this is between one person and another person, and they are transferring that from one wallet to another wallet. The same when you transfer your money from one exchange to a different exchange. It's the same thing. And when you're doing this kind of transaction, it's not showing up, you know, so it's not like that on the exchange order book you see somewhere that exchange happening, because from wallet to wallet. Now, an OTC desk is going to charge you for this service to match you with the other side of the trade, 2% roughly. That's usually what they are charging, 2%. So now you lose on your Bitcoin 200 Bitcoin to make this transaction. So you are left with 9,800 Bitcoin. I explain now again if you do this on the spot market. So this here is OTC. Now you do this on the spot market. You have 10,000, you clip them in one order. In one order, you sell them immediately. So what do you get out of that? So you have a price impact of Let it be the worst case. Worst case, 5%. So you lose 500 Bitcoin, plus everything what you are selling right now, the remainder, the 9,500, get devalued by another 5% because the price dropped now. So you have 9,500 Bitcoin, and you have to subtract another 5% from that, so another 475 because of the price impact. Now you did not lose 5%, you actually lost almost 10% in this transaction. So that's why I don't understand why people are so stupid, you know? So I don't get it. Oh wait, I just see, I think you guys might be on the wrong screen here. Yeah, shit, let me fix that. Every single time, this is really bad. So there we go. Sorry guys. Yeah, so here you see 500, 475. So this is what you're actually losing in that transaction, you know. So you basically end up with the fair value of 1.1 9,100 Bitcoin is then the fair value that you have, you know, because of all this price impact. So why would you not go to an OTC desk, you know? So I don't get it. I don't get it why long-term holders will sell spot just because they have to jump through some hoops to get on an OTC desk. So, but these long-term holders, they are causing that we are dropping here, and you can see this here on on Glassnode here, total supply held by long-term holders. These are the people that are crashing the price right now. So, but on the other side, this is actually really, really good, because once these long-term holders are out, these Bitcoin are gobbled up by ETFs and other entities that are now, for now, they are short-term holders and just switching hands. You know, so from diamond hands, it goes now into weaker hands that turn into diamond hands, and we repeat that whole cycle over time. So in the short term, it's bad because we are feeling it, because we have here over $1 billion in liquidations over the last 24 hours. We're really, really feeling it. But mid to long term, this is a good thing. No, my screen was not frozen. It was just on the wrong screen. That was the problem. So now when we are looking at the Bitcoin CME chart, where might be heading based on the CME chart. So I found here one tiny CME gap that could be a target here on the way down, but I'm warning you, if we are reaching this target here, we are on the brink of losing the bull market. So what you don't want to see is that we're actually going all the way down here to fill this and go back to the upside. So you definitely don't want price reaching these levels here. When we are looking then on the weekly time frame, because now we need to zoom out. We need to zoom out to understand the right levels that we need to look at for a potential bounce. So here the next imminent level for a bounce is $93,000, $94,000 here based on the weekly chart. So, and below that is a key level that we should not better reach, and that level is here, $89,000, $88,000. So if we get a weekly close below this level here, we ignite basically the bear market for Bitcoin, and then the bear market bottom will be below between $74,000 and $67,000 approximately. I want to say this here one more time, guys. I don't believe that we are just yet in a bear market, or that we are heading into a bear market. There are still massive macro levels that we first need to break before we can talk about that we are heading into a bear market here. So then on the daily chart, also here, key levels that we have to watch out for. So I have here a volume delta indicator that basically tells you where the most traded areas are based on price and based on historical levels that we traded at. And here the next major bounce level is unfortunately all the way down at $94,500. So I believe that this might be one of the key levels that the price potentially is going to reach here if we break below and stay below $95,770. So if we get a daily close below that level, then the major high historical volume area will be the next target here. For now, we see here a small bounce to try to hold on to the $96,000 level. But if we're not able to hold this level, then we will definitely see here a quick move into this area and then hopefully a reversal. So if this area also fails, then you see already here, not even on the volume delta 88 would hold, it would go at least to 86 or even 85. And then the bull market structure is gone, you know. So then the whole structure that we had that was leading us into this bull run is completely gone once we get a weekly close below these levels. So that's what you don't want to see. And here this high volume historical area is the final line in the sand to get here a significant bounce back into higher levels. So what I expect here on the weekly chart to be happening is that we are actually reaching the $94,000 level. And as you can see here, this is a golden ratio between $92,600 and $94,300, and from there get a bounce. And this is not only based on the golden ratio, but also based on the 75 weekly moving average here that is getting into the golden ratio right now. So as you can see here, we are breaking here into lower and lower levels as we go down. And we need to see a significant bounce anytime today, you know. So because if here's now the problem, if we are closing today at current prices and over the weekend we get a recovery bounce, we create another massive CME gap that we don't want to have on the chart. So we are running here a little bit out of time. On the daily chart, we have basically a little bit less than 12 hours to turn this around. Not completely, but into levels where we say, okay, from here, if we go sideways over the weekend and get a proper bounce then in the coming week, that's fine. But a proper bounce would mean at least a reclaim of like 98 or even $100,000. $100,000 would be exactly the level that you want to see here reclaimed right now in a bounce. But it has to happen in the next 12 hours. If that's not happening in the next 12 hours and we are not going sideways over the weekend, then we have another massive CME gap. So let me see in the comments what's going on here. No, I still believe 2026 will be a continuation of the bull run. Of course, altcoins are bleeding. No MACD cross on. I did not look into that. So, but you guys know me. I still have my trade running here on Weex. So if you want to set up your trade here around the golden ratio, right now is the time to do that, you know, because we're getting closer here. So I'm gonna tell you how I would trade this on Weex, and I would just keep adding more to my position because, like I said, I still believe that we are going higher. So you set here your stop loss slightly below that moving average. So a 2.4% stop loss is not that bad actually, and you target $106,000. So and you enter with limit orders. Here within the golden ratio, you layer them. You layer them from 94,300 to 92,600. This is where you layer them. So, and like I said, I'm still having my trade here on Weex. I don't think that my liquidation price will be reached, and even if I get close there, I just keep adding more money to it to prevent that. So if you want to trade on Weex, guys, you know the drill. $30,000 still in sign-up bonuses available. You get $400 just for signing up there, binding your phone and email address, and downloading the app. And if you deposit $500, you get an additional $400. So you have then $800 for free. Plus, you get access here to my Telegram group. That is completely private. You get only access if you deposit $500 on Weex right now. And the steps are all described in the description, guys, how you get access. So if you cannot reach me on Telegram, then do it on Twitter or on my email address, info@amcrypto.us. So let me move on here to the MDX Algo Scalp Gradient. So that we're here also printing green candles is not a good sign, guys. Green candles usually mean we are close to the bottom, but also here you see the next major buy cluster where we have massive buy orders is exactly in the golden ratio area. So here I was thinking earlier to send here this signal, but as you can see, it was good that I did not because we keep breaking lower here. So now I move this down. and then here into this resistance area, which is basically the same trade that I just given here, but also on the 4-hourly chart, into this resistance here above us. So on the reactor indicator also here, we are seeing basically a slowdown in selling, which is good, but overall we don't have a take profit signal yet. We don't have a bullish divergence yet on the 4-hourly chart, which makes it highly likely that we're coming down here, touch this, and then get a push back to the $100,000 level. So the good thing is that we can still manage to do all of that in the next 12 hours, because here in so we just opened this 4-hourly candle. So here in the next 3.5 hours, we're gonna see what's happening with the current candle, but I believe the next 4-hourly candle that comes will get us that move with a wick into that buy cluster, from where we get a massive reaction, and then the next 4-hourly candle will be the reversal candle. So at least that's how things are looking currently to me. If I'm wrong, like I said, guys, you know, so if I'm wrong and this buy pressure down here is not holding up, then we are starting to slowly break into bearish territory on the macro time frames. The liquidation levels here, you can see that there's also not much liquidity left that can be taken out here. Again, golden ratio, so much confluence around this. This is all golden ratio area on the weekly time frame. So once that is taken out, there's for like a leverage flush, no reason anymore to go any lower. So if we go lower, then this is all spot driven, and yeah, that means basically the market is capitulating, and we need to see where then the bottom is, you know. So and then any other bounce to the upside is basically a bounce where people are gonna sell. So and this will be then yeah, an extended period where we are just chopping down sideways in like the mid 80, low $90,000 area. On the liquidation heat map also here, I went to the monthly to see if there is a lot of liquidity below us, and as you can see here, there is basically nothing. So it's not only the liquidation levels, it's also the liquidation heat map showing you here below $94,000, $94,600, there's nothing to grab anymore. So if now market makers want to go anywhere to make money, then they need to start pushing price back to the upside, because below us, like I said here at 94,600, it stops. There's nothing there anymore really that they can gobble up, unless I go here to like super perma positions. But even there, look at this, 6 months, there's nothing. Let's see, is here on the yearly something? Okay, on the yearly there is still something. So here you see all the way down to like 92,700 could be. So that would be the absolute last level that where I would expect, yeah, a bounce. But if that bounce is not coming from that level, it's over, guys. You know, 92,700. That's like the last line of defense for the bulls. If yeah, but we should see a reaction before we actually reach that level. So and yeah, that's what we need to be on the outlook for and prepare. You know, we need to prepare for that. So and for that simple reason, if you want to open positions right now, which is a little bit risky but also makes a lot of sense in these levels, do it at major levels of confluence, like here, $94,300 to $92,600. Level of confluences where you want to open positions from, not from current levels. Current levels, not really, unless we are closing here above, what is this, $96,000. Daily close above $96,000, you can start building slowly a position on low leverage. That I'm also doing that personally right now. I have a position with 5x running on Blowfin. Price can go to like $87,000. Nothing will happen, you know. So before that. So let's have a look here at the USDT dominance. So the USDT dominance is on an absolute rampage today to the upside. So, which is not good. That's why the whole market is highly bleeding, because people fleeing now already into stable coins to protect their capital. And the total free market cap, nobody was expecting anything else, is pulling here to the downside. And this, if we are also here not bouncing soon from the liquidity that's still down here, then we will go back down to like 856, 835 billion dollars. Also here, this is the level where I expect a bounce back to the upside. If it's not happening from here and we go lower and actually fill all the way down the wick that we created here last month in October, this is really bad territory when we if we make it all the way down here, because also then the structure for the total free market cap is gone, the macro structure that was holding us up. Then Ethereum needs to hold here above $3,100, lose $3,100. There's one last level to defend around $3,000. If $3,000 is lost, then this here is the next level that I'm looking at to open a position. $2,700, $2,600. This is the area where I would be looking at to take a position from. So here again, you see this setup. I was thinking about sending this setup. No, not sending this. Putting this rather all the way down here and targeting here basically current price levels that we are at, just in case if we're losing this. On the higher low also just got broken here on the 30-minute chart, so this is also not accurate anymore. So if we are losing here the 10th October lower low, then we're putting also here a lower low in. Lose $3,100, and I'm sure we're going for a lower low than this one here. On the visible range for Ethereum, we are holding on, so I just want to show that to you, to this downward sloping trend line out of the overall downward sloping trading channel that Ethereum is still in. So the only thing that gives me here a little bit of hope is that we are completely oversold. So the RSI is entering oversold conditions. The stochastic is on flatlining on the bottom. The MACD is looking bearish. So that doesn't mean that this is stopping right now, but there could be a relief bounce coming in the next 8 to 12 hours, in my opinion. And this is what I'm personally looking for. We can trade the relief bounce, but we want to make sure that this is not just a relief bounce, but proper continuation back to the upside. And this will be only happening if Ethereum can reclaim $3,500. For Solana, here, this trades it up. We can still think about this. So this is not as Solana is actually holding up quite strong, I must say, compared to other coins in this whole downwards move here. I'm not saying that we did not move down here substantially, like a 10% move to the downside, but it's still holding up better than many other coins, you know. So now we are talking about 10% from my from yesterday's levels. But if we are holding on to like $138, $136, then I think Solana will be one of the first coins bouncing back to the upside with a massive push here once Bitcoin is turning around. So Solana might be here one of the stronger coins, and there are some other coins that I'm watching right now that are also going to show you here in a moment. So here, close above $140,000 today. Sorry, $139 today. And I would long this into the resistance of $154 and take profit there. Because also here, Solana massively oversold. And also on the daily, here on the daily, RSI entering oversold conditions, stochastic wants to turn around slightly here already, but this could be extended for a day or two. Yeah, but I think here in a day or two, for Solana at least, we're gonna reach the local bottom where we're turning around. Let me actually quick look on Bitcoin again, if that might be coinciding here. I need a different chart for Bitcoin. Let me see here. Where do I have something that we can work with? Do I still have here? No. Okay, then let me just switch over. Yeah, we're just gonna do that here really quickly. Let's see if we can see here something. I need the MACD. And then the daily. Yeah, also here 2 days. So it looks like across the board we could see 2 more days of downwards movement before we are going back up. And so while we are going back up, you have to take in consideration that might be just a dead cat bounce. So that's the problem with that. Unless we are really breaking like $102,000, $104,000 into next week, you know, and during next week. One of the other coins that you can currently look at is Dogecoin. Dogecoin also holding up quite well compared to many other coins here on the daily chart. So if you just look at the daily from yesterday all the way down here, also roughly 10%. 10%. So here, technically, Doge is in one of my old buy zones. That was in the past really good support and led to massive runs to the upside. But I think we can potentially, if this level is not holding and giving in, then we're gonna reach here 15 cents for Doge, and this is from where I would be setting limit orders right now. I would set up limit orders and then all the way up here to 19 cents point 2 with a stop loss of like 4.5% is good on that move here overall. The next one is no, not Doge. Let's see what's still up here. Whoa, TRB. Okay, crazy TRB. Injective also did not move too much down here compared to other coins. Here I'm looking at $6.20, so another 10% roughly to the downside. But it looks like that Injective is bouncing here already slightly over the day, not on the 4-hourly chart, but over the day overall. Not that bad. So here there is a support level, that's why. So if Injective can hold on to that support here of $6.73, I would consider longing this, because this might be one of the coins with Solana front running everything else. And then my target, I would not go for $7.83 immediately, but here a quick 6.6% to the upside with a tight stop loss. Yeah, that you can of course extend if you want to $7.83, but I would first target here 6.6% and not more. Then I think I had a look at Link earlier too. ICP was also one of them, also holding up strong. But here also this downward sloping trend line is the trend line that's holding us down here for any upwards momentum. And here we might come all the way down to the golden ratio to $5.37, $5.18, 19. That might be the level that we need to look at. And while I have finally again good numbers here on the stream, I want to remind you guys, let me actually, oh, my camera turned off again. Nobody's telling me anything. Was the camera really on here already for 40 minutes? That's crazy. That's crazy, guys. Okay. Well, okay, let me come back here. So there we go. There we go. So I need to do this quick here. So please low. Oh yeah, this is better. I want to remind you guys that for only a few selected people, I'm opening up again my mentorship program. So there's only a few spots available. Some people applied already. So and this will take at least another week to go through all the people, you know. So there is a bunch of people that want in, and I only take a handful, you know, a handful of everybody that's applying. But if you want to learn from me and how I navigate these markets and also my risk management and everything, how I make sure that I'm not losing too much in moves like that, then you should go here in the description. There is a link where you can apply for the mentorship. And if we think you're a good fit, then my team will reach out to you. But like I said, don't expect tomorrow an answer. You know, this is not like with all these other people that basically give everybody entry, you know, to the program. This is not what's happening here, you know. So really, there are people that are waiting already at least 3 days for an answer. We did not reach out to them yet. That's gonna happen like next week at some point when we have more people and have a better picture of who I personally want to work with. So, but let me go back here to the charts. So the next one that I want to look at is Link. Where did Link end up here? There. Oh, Link is close, getting close to my level. So as you can see here, I projected that we come down here to like $13.17, $12.40. I think that might be where we are going down to before we see a reversal. And also here again, just ladder into your buys. You know, I would start from $13.40 all the way down here. You know, so put every time 10%. You know, 10% of the total amount and layer it all the way down to $12.40. Basically, because if you start from $13.40, every 10 cents, 10%, all the way down. So that will average down your entry if you have basically your first at $13.40 to like $12.70, 80, somewhere here. And on that bounce, you will be really quick on in profit with your full position. So and if we only reclaim where you started first laddering in, you're already in massive profits. So that's how you trade massive bounces like that when we are moving to the downside. So I want to go through one or two coins that you guys want before I'm leaving. So hit me up with one of two coins quick in the chat, guys. Come on, one or two coins, and then I'm running. And let's see if my camera's... Oh no, my camera froze. Oh no, did not freeze. I thought for a second it froze again. Is the connection so slow, or what's happening here? Okay, up does. So I really have to go, so that's why I'm taking here the first two coins that are popping in here from two different people, you know, so if the same person puts here again another coin, not going for it. So let's see Aptos. Aptos here, that green box. I have that green box here for a while. Green box, that's what I think where we are heading to. $2.76, $2.68. This is from where we should get a bounce back to the upside. So what would I be targeting on the way up? $2.95, $3.06. So these are two take profit points from that area all the way down here. Now let me have a look here at Tau. No, I don't have Tau like this here. Tau, USDT. Let's see. Whoa, yeah, Tau is also in a free fall. Let's see here. Wow, crazy. Yeah, at crucial support right now. So if Tau loses that support level, this will be really bad for Tau. So then, because then the underlying support level next level would be $288 if it cannot hold the current level. So if you want to continue or add to a Tau position, this is the area. This is the area where you want to do that. You want to have your stop loss then here at $274. That's where I would get out. If it breaks below that, just cut the position, you know, so because then it will head way lower than that. So, and for take profit targets, 351 and then $385 to the upside. So if we get a daily close above current price levels, you're looking at like a 21% move. Yeah, 11 to 21% move approximately is what you're looking at. So guys, I have to run. Was fun to do a 30-minute stream here again. Thought I could be quicker, but nonetheless, be safe out there. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I hope you still have a portfolio tomorrow.